Word to my mama, I promise I gotta go get it. Hop in my whipping and be on my way. Now I'm copping a ticket to Cali. My mission to Valley, the babes in the lake till I finally come back to Miami.
Yo, what up guys, it's Data Gray here, and today I come to you with another video. Congratulations, you've been blessed. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about Todoroki, the hot and cold hero, my boy. Like, he's one of the dopest characters on the show, and I just wanted to talk about him for a little bit. And I feel like he's one of the characters in the show, well, if not the only character I feel like has like the greatest amount of backstory so far that we've been introduced to, at least in my eyes and from what I've seen. Like, he came up as a kid watching his mother get abused and growing up with the fact that his sole purpose for even existing was just for the sake of defeating All Might. Like, he wasn't even a person of his own at that point. He was just somebody that was created for one thing, and his father treated him that way. Like, he didn't get no type of love or good treatment from him. The only thing that he received from him was training, and really that's all. Like, no parental love was involved in the situation or none of that. And his mom wasn't in his life either, from what had happened, how she had burned him when he was a kid. So he basically had nobody, and he was forced to grow up training and basically doing all that he could to beat All Might. And he wasn't even really sure if that's what he wanted to do. Like, he didn't really want to beat All Might. He actually was kind of like Deku and Bakugo in the sense that he actually looked up to him, and he saw him saving people on the TV just like Deku and Bakugo did, and he respected that. He wanted to be a hero. Like, he wanted to really be a hero, somebody that saves people. And he didn't really know he could do it, but his mom told him everything was Gucci. Like, she was like, you know, you can be a hero too. But besides that, like, back at tracking to now where we at, his character has grown so much over these seasons. Like, he went from somebody that didn't really put nobody else in his eyes. Like, he never thought that he had any opponents. Like, he basically, I don't know if he necessarily believed everybody was beneath him, but like, his viewpoint was just so like clouded, and he was so focused on trying to resist his dad that he couldn't see anything else around him. And it caused him to be kind of a loner and kind of like, you know, just keep to himself and just focus on one thing and kind of just ignore everything besides what he thought mattered. But now he's a character that actually does care about his homies. He is leveling up, not just in terms of using his powers, but also as a human being. He's learned how to be a better hero since then, and a lot has changed for him. And speaking of that, I wanted to bring up another subject that I feel like is kind of busted if you think about it. He is one of the only heroes in the class that I feel like now doesn't have a weakness anymore. And what I mean by that is, usually in the class, there's some type of limitation to their abilities, or like they have like a hard ass counter. Like, for example, I can't remember, like Yazuro, I don't know how you say her name, the one that can create things with her body, the limpids or something like that in her body. And like, the drawback to that is she can only create so much stuff before she run out of those things in her body. And also, she got to know the exact composition of what it is she's trying to create. Like, she can't just create it from looking at it alone. She got to know exactly what it's made out of and how it's made to even create it. So to me, that's like a huge ass drawback. Although, like, she can come up with some pretty dope stuff if she learned everything that she got to learn, but still, like, that's a huge ass drawback. And she also has limitations on her powers. Or, for example, Kaminari, who, if he uses his powers too much, he turns into One Punch Man. No, I'm just playing. But he turned into a special needs person, and it's like you can like see a trend here. Like they all have like clear weaknesses and drawbacks. But Todoroki was different. When we first got introduced to him, he only used his ice powers. And when he fought Deku in the little tournament thing, we found out that there was a limit to how much he could use his ice powers before his body freezes over. But now that he's using his fire powers too, like he got over like the trauma and everything from his past, and he can use his fire powers, like that weakness is really just non-existent. Like now he really doesn't have a weakness at all. And I think that says a lot, especially how high damage his abilities actually are. Like the scale of which he can use his powers is like out of the whole class. I feel like besides when it comes to like raw like destruction, at least I feel like he's even higher than Deku. Like when he is using everything he got, like I feel like it's even higher than Deku. But he can control it better than really anybody in the class. So it's like now at this point, season 3, like I'm feeling like he's fucking invincible. Like I feel like the only drawback to him not being as like cold as he could be is just the simple fact that, for one, he doesn't really have that many special moves, and two, like he can't really manipulate his powers like how I feel like he could. Like I forgot what episode it was, but it was the episode where they just had got done dealing with Stain. Or no, it was before they got done dealing with Stain. And his dad threw, Todoroki's dad, he threw an arrow made out of fire at the Nomu. And like, he literally manipulated the fire into an arrow and launched that bitch. Like, whereas Todoroki, he just basically just flinging his powers out there, not really giving it that much thought to how he presenting the power or how he is manipulating it. He just basically throwing it out there. And the only time I really see him really taking control of his powers, if you could call it that, is when he doing the whole Frozone thing where he sliding on the ice and making big ass ramps and shit so he can move faster. Like that's really the only time I see him actually manipulate his powers in a way that actually does something for him. But besides those things, like really he doesn't have a weakness, and anything that you could call a weakness is a thing that could be like fixed over time. Like the other characters, they weaknesses, like they can, what can I say? They can like make their clear weaknesses like as small as they can, like by training and by like working through the pain and all that. But the fact is that even if they do train and do all that, like their weaknesses is still gonna be there. No matter how much Kaminari trained to use his lightning and like make it so he can cause more damage without going full retard, he can probably do that, like make it longer, make himself last longer and longer over time, but eventually he's still gonna go full retard. So like you see what I'm saying, like they can train and they can get better at using their powers and manipulating them, but their weaknesses is gonna still remain. But Todoroki, when it comes to like a base weakness, he doesn't really have one, and anything that you could call a weakness is something that can be fixed over time. So in my opinion, I feel like once he learns how to manipulate his powers like to the best of his ability, and he can use both of his powers at the same time while doing that, it's going to take a lot of work, I'm pretty sure, because he just now started being able to use fire and ice at the same time in this latest episode. I mean, not the latest episode, but like a few episodes back. And even then, it wasn't even really controlled. He was just able to do it, not really control it all. But once he get all that figured out, I feel like he's going to wind up being at least probably, I don't know if he gonna wind up being stronger than Bakugo, just because they made him out to be Deku's like true rival now. So you know, he gotta at least be a step above everybody else, just not above Deku. But Todoroki, I don't know, like I feel like he could be in the conversation for top 2, and I feel like he could wind up being the strongest if Deku wasn't the main character. Like if it was a show where like there were multiple main characters, I feel like if people really wanted to argue, they would say that Todoroki is really the strongest motherfucker in the show. Because at this moment, that's exactly how I feel. When it comes to like right now in the present, I feel like Todoroki is, well, he not stronger than Bakugo, because Bakugo whooped his ass, but he didn't whoop him like on some easy. Like he ain't just easy his ass, like 100-0 his shit. But he still like it was a close fight, and I feel like Todoroki is coming in a close second. Like my top 3 is Bakugo, Todoroki, then Deku, like for the strongest motherfuckers in the class. Yeah, but once they start training more and finally like realizing their full potential and get like new suit upgrades, because I ain't gonna lie, I don't know exactly what the fuck Todoroki's suit even does. It basically looked like the fucking training uniform, but even still, once they realize their full potential, I feel like Todoroki is gonna be one of the most invincible characters. Like I feel like there's nothing you could really do to beat him, or like there's no really weakness that you can use to defeat him besides just completely overpowering him or somehow taking his fucking quirk away. Other than that, I really don't see you finding a sneaky way to beat him. Like if you're not just completely stronger than him, if you don't just completely overpower him like Bakugo did, you're probably not gonna sleep the motherfucker. And that's just facts. That's how I feel about it anyways. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Todoroki is one of the top dogs? I mean, we all know he is, but how high on the list do you think he could go? But that's all I gotta say for this video, guys. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate all of y'all. And yeah, have a good one. Peace.